What's going on, everybody? It is Dr. Jamar Montgomery of drjamarmontgomery.com here with another broadcast of Make It Make Sense. Oh, of course, Instagram is hating on me. Pause due to poor connection. Of course. Of course, Instagram is going to have issues with what I have to say. But thank God that I am on. Thank God I'm on other platforms. But it's crazy because I have been having nothing but trouble with Instagram. And I'm about to see what all that is about in a minute. But as I get everything squared away here on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram, I'm going to talk to the rest of my folks that is on YouTube and on TikTok. Today's broadcast is about be free and make your own choices. Don't you know that you are free and that you can make your own choices? That you get to be a full person? And what do I mean by getting to be a full person? You get to be whoever you want to be and you get to make your own decisions. You get to enjoy every piece of your identity. And what is your identity? What is your identity? I literally had um I did a panel on race, culture, and identity. Instagram is being a hater, so you know what? Race, culture, and identity and being multicultural. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? That means that although I might consider myself black, although I might consider myself a man, although I might consider myself a parent, there are other identities that I have. And because I have other identities, there are other interests that I have. My interests as a parent are differ from my interests as a professional, right? What do I mean? What do I mean? Let me go into more detail. If somebody markets to me as a professional, if somebody markets to me, oh, let's see, what did somebody say? That means an all American mutt. That's funny. Well, and you should be a mutt because being black, being a man, there is much more to my identity than that. And in this current political climate, we are being marketed to based upon if we are black, based upon if we are white, based upon whether we are a woman, based upon whether we are a man, based upon whether we are a Christian, based upon whether we are poor, based upon whether we are rich. And the thing is that we should embrace all those different identities that we have, and somebody should be able to speak to those multiple identities that you have, those multiple interests that you have. If somebody only focuses on the fact of this is what I believe black people like or black people want, then then all the other things that are important to me are going to get ignored. What do I mean by that? Um I am a college educated black man. I am a college educated black man who has student loan debt and who lives on the West Coast. Already, right then and there, what are the things that are going to be important to me as a college educated man with student loan debt that lives on the West Coast? Well, I'm concerned about student loan forgiveness. Does student loan forgiveness, is that a black issue or is that a white issue? No, it's not a black or white issue. It's an American issue. Um, is it only black people that live on the West Coast? No, plenty of people of different nationalities and ethnicities live on the West Coast. Um, Are black people the only people that are educated? No, plenty of people are educated. So when somebody is marketing to you saying that you should vote for this person because they are a black person, or I'm only voting for this person because they're black, I'm only voting for this person because they're a woman, I'm only voting for this person because of a man, what you're doing is you are eliminating all the other interests that you could be advocating for. Not only am I a black man, but you can't just speak to me as a black man. Can you speak to me as somebody that has student loan debt? Can you speak to me what's important to me as somebody that has student loan debt, student loan forgiveness, student loan restructuring? What's important to me as somebody that drives a car, right? Because not everybody drives a car. Lower gas prices. That's something that's important to me. Lower car insurance prices, right? So all these different things that are important to you, you don't recognize all what's important to you until you start really looking at your life and understanding your life. Like, what do I pay for? What is it that I wish I didn't have to pay for? What is it that I'm willing to pay for? And what is it that I wish I didn't have to pay so much for? I pay taxes. Do I want my tax rate to be 10%, or would I much rather my tax rate to be 8%? What does that mean? Every time that I spend $100, I have to give $10 to the government. So not only am I paying $100, I end up paying $110 on every sale on everything that I buy. Well, I would much rather pay $8 instead of $10. Right? That makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? It's all about understanding your life and the things that you have to pay for, the things that you're involved in, the things that the people who you love are involved in. Um, you know, I was thinking about Roe v. Wade and abortion rights, right? I was thinking about the access to abortion, and I think that black folks, if you say that Black Lives Matter, then you shouldn't be thinking about getting abortions. Um, you shouldn't really be advocating for abortions. If you say that you care about the rights of black men, you shouldn't be getting abortions. You shouldn't be advocating for abortions. Why not? Why not? Is it truly your body? Is it truly your body? The moment, let's put it like this. They say that you don't want your government telling women what to do with their bodies, but it's illegal for you to drink while you're pregnant. It's illegal for you to do drugs while you're pregnant. The government is telling you what you can and can't do with your body then. Saying it's legal for you to drink, but it's not legal for you to drink while you're pregnant. The government's telling you what you can and can't do with your body then. Why? Because they know that that's going to hurt the baby that you're carrying. Well, if you're willing to protect the baby, from drinking, shouldn't you be able to, as the government, protect the baby from death? Let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's take babies out of it, right? Imagine you had a dog, right? Imagine if you had a dog. Imagine you have a dog. But me and my wife have a dog. Me and my wife have a dog. Now, she came into the marriage with this dog, and now the dog, I love the dog, right? I love the dog. I love the dog. But let's say that me and her went half on a dog. We saw the dog, we decided, hey, you got your half of the money for the dog, I got my half of the money for the dog. And now we got this dog. And I decide, you know what? I don't like this dog no more. I'm going to kill this dog. Do I have the right to just kill the dog? She might be all lovey dovey and attached to that dog. Do I have the right to kill that dog? And a dog is considered property. That's the crazy part. A dog is considered property. So now, do I have the right to kill this dog? Let's say I didn't own it with my wife and I just own the dog myself. Do I have the right to kill my dog? I should. It's my property. If I had a house, I have the right to destroy my house. I own it. If I own a PlayStation, I have the right to destroy my PlayStation. I can do whatever it is that I want with my property. So a dog is no different than any other piece of property. It just happens to be alive. But shouldn't I be allowed to do whatever the hell that I want to do with that dog? Did you know it's not illegal to drink when you're pregnant? Okay, let's John Hewitt, you bring up a great point because you know what? It varies by state law. It varies by state law. Organizations like the National Institute of Health strongly urge pregnant women not to drink alcohol during any time of their pregnancy. But currently, there are no federal laws that restrict women from consuming alcohol. Now, let's go here. You know what? Let's go here. Here it is. According to data collected by the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, only 20 states make it illegal, have some laws restricting pregnant women from drinking. Alabama, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Massachusetts, Maine, North Dakota, Nevada, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Wisconsin have legal provisions that may define alcohol use by a pregnant woman as a form of child abuse. Jesus Manifesto said if the mother is in jeopardy with the health having the baby, then abortion should be taken. Doc says it's okay occasionally. That should be common sense. No alcohol and smoking. Okay. If it saves the mother's life, okay, I'm with that. I'm with that. I can understand that. But what if it's not to save the mother's life? I grant that there's exceptions to it, that there should be exceptions to it, absolutely. But should it be a common practice? No. Jason Will said, no, the mom's life shouldn't matter. Ugh. Let's go game. When we look at these particular issues, they are marketed to us in a particular way. They are marketed as, abortion is marketed as a woman's right to choose. My body, my choice. Problem is that isn't your body. It's inside of your body, but you didn't spontaneously get pregnant. That child didn't spontaneously get there. A person, a man, had to inject sperm in you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Right? In some way, shape, form, or fashion, in order for the sperm to get there to the egg, to fertilize the egg, and now this is a co-creation. So, is it your property or is it y'all's property? And are you able to dispose of that property at will just because you have possession of it? Is the government telling a woman what to do with their body, or is the government advocating for the man's interest in that property? Is the government protecting the man's property interest in in that property that's in that woman's stomach? Because if we're not going to say that a baby is a person or a baby is a human, then it's property. Jesus Manifesto and Jason Will, we can bring the biblical argument in there. The biblical argument is clear. What we're dealing with here is law. And this is where a lot of the times the argument breaks down, because one person is talking about Bible and another person is talking about policy. So let's deal with law. Let's deal with what the law. Let's deal with the law is. Right? Let's deal with what the law says. And if we deal with what the law says, then we don't have to worry about somebody who doesn't believe in the Bible, right? Because the argument is going to be, oh, well, you're just a Bible thumper, and so, the Bible also says that this is illegal and blah 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 and this that and the third, which they're right, but that's a way of diverting the conversation. And I'm saying that you make the legal arguments. The legal arguments. Is it okay for you as a woman to violate the male's property interest in that piece of property that is currently residing in your stomach? Because at that time, there's no difference. There's no difference between the baby being in your stomach and a dog, because a dog is property. Because if it's a person, if the baby's a person, then you as a parent should not be able to kill your child. Unless you're saying that, okay, well, you can kill the child while it's in the womb, while it's in the gestation period. Well, what stops you? Why is it illegal to kill your child when they're outside of the womb? These are the questions, right? A lot of times we deal with the argument from a biblical point of view, and I say that the biblical point of view is valid, but let's deal with the law and let's deal with policy. Let's deal with that, because they cannot beat you on law and policy. We already know they can't beat you on a biblical argument, but they for doggone sure cannot beat you on law and policy when you frame it in that way. It's property. Okay, the baby that's in your stomach is property. Well, why is if I as a father, as I as a man don't have a choice in that ordeal, then why do I have to support this piece of property or this child that is now born when I didn't have any say so in what happened with it? There's a in Louisiana law, there's a in property law, there's three concepts: usus, fructus, and abusus. Usus is you have free use of the property, right? Abusus means that you can destroy the property and do whatever it is that you please. And fructus means that you gain the fruits of it. So there's three levels of property, three levels of ownership. And when you have usus, fructus, and abusus, it's called full ownership. When you don't have when any one of those pieces are separated from each other, it's separated and you're called it partial ownership. The baby and abortion rights is abortion rights for women is the violation of property rights of men, of fathers. Point blank. I love you, brother, but you use your logic too much. The walls of corruption will change. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. The thing is that you're going to have to use logic, because there are people who do not respect God and do not respect the Bible. So, uh, we can't deal with how we wish the world was. We have to deal with how the world actually is, and this is the world that we live in. You know what's crazy is people think that um You have to vote for Democrats. You have to vote for Democrats if you're black, or that the Democrats is the best party to join, to that the Democrats are going to represent black people's interests the best. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Are Democrats usually uh, more on the progressive side of things? Absolutely. On certain issues, I agree with the Democrats. On certain issues, I agree with Republicans. But let's go into this. Let's go into this thing about identity. You can be a Republican. You can vote Republican, be conservative, and be a Christian. You can be a Republican and not necessarily be conservative and not necessarily be a Christian. But we utilize the term Republican and conservative in the same fashion, and we think that it's the same thing. Jesus Manifesto said it isn't about Democrats and Republicans, it's about good and evil. Wake up, brother. The problem that I have with that argument, is that what if evil is being conducted by both sides, by both political party? And to say that one person is evil versus another, um, brings us into some very dangerous territory. It's about good and evil. That's all it's about. The rest is BS. I can understand that. I can understand that. I can understand that. Not hey, once again, I'm making sure that the message is one that is digestible by people who may not necessarily hold the same beliefs as you. Point blank period. Point blank period. At least where I'm at in this area of my journey, um, in this area of my journey, it is to provide the information and to provide the perspective so that people can choose, and providing them with the best information so that they can make decisions on what they believe is good and what is evil, what is right and what is wrong. Why do I say that? To say that it's a woman's right to choose, right? Well, who doesn't want for a woman to have control over her body? Absolutely. But let's reframe it. Okay. Does she get to choose what to do with this piece of property without consulting with without consulting with the father? Jesus Manifesto. It's interesting. Um, we are free. We are free. We just don't know it. And the enemy wants to keep us enslaved. The enemy wants us to be ignorant. My people perish for lack of knowledge because they don't know who God is. They don't know who He is in them. And that's a very sad thing. It's a very sad place to be. Yeah. Felicia said, when you study political science in college, you know what it's all about. Okay, talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Felicia 671. What did you learn in political science? I used to teach political science. Oh, you studied money. Okay, that's a good thing to study. Anybody who wants to be successful in life should study money. Anybody who wants to be successful in life should study money. I have work to do. I have a lot of work to do. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I'm upset because Instagram has been hating on my streams lately. It's been hating on my streams lately. Um, yeah, money does win. Money answereth all things. Money answereth all things. It answereth all things. So if you ain't got the answers, money will provide an answer. Yeah. Um, what y'all want? What questions y'all want to ask me? I'm gonna open it up for Q&A right now. If you, by the way, if you're interested in joining, if you're interested in joining my Project 2025 analysis and breakdown, please send me a DM. Uh, Reach out to me on drjamarmontgomery.com, and we will get you all set up for. Um, we'll get you all set up for the Project 2025 discussion. We're having it tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure to reach out to me, send a DM. I'll send you all the details. Because it is so extensive, we're charging. You can either pay through the Connect app or you could pay directly. And we're going to be answering all your questions. So if you have questions, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and we'll go ahead and get those questions answered. But I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Like I said, I'm opening it up for questions. Any questions that you guys have? Jason Will, ask your question. What's your question? And by the way, thank you everyone for the likes. I appreciate that. Helps out with the algorithm. Kamala is good or nah? Depends on what context. Is Kamala good for black people? No. Uh, is Kamala good for criminal justice reform? No. Is Kamala good for HBCUs? She might be. Is she good for protecting fathers' property interests in their unborn children? No. Is she good for protecting our borders? No. Is she good for international relations? No. Am I voting for Kamala Harris? No. Am I donating to Kamala Harris's campaign? Yes. Now, why am I donating to her campaign? I'm donating to her campaign because regardless of who is in office, let's say Kamala does win, as critical as I am of the Kamala Harris campaign, I still will have access to the Kamala Harris campaign because I donated. This is not a personal, this is not a, this is business. This is politics. This is power. This is access. What does men want to be fathers? What does it mean to be fathers? So you donate to people that you don't agree with? That's interesting. I know who you are, Jason Will. Um so you donate to people that you don't agree with? Absolutely. Absolutely. Political campaigns? Absolutely. Because what if the person I don't agree with, what if they win? That puts them in a conundrum. Well, you disagreed with me. Yeah, but I donated to you. Well, what does that mean? That means that regardless of me being critical of you and me not necessarily being my first choice, I still did more for you than the people who did vote for you. Kamala moonwalks in the dark. That's funny. It's about having access. And then when you donate to a campaign, you get to say, look, I have a say in this. Not only did I vote for you, but I donated. Do you know that there are political organizations that donate to both sides? Why? For access. It's not personal, it's business. Well, what do you like to do? Um, let's see. Let's see. I don't know. I like going to the shooting range. I like going to the shooting range. I want a president that's going to protect my Second Amendment right, because the Second Amendment protects the First, it protects the Third, it protects the Fourth Amendment. What would you like to talk about? Yeah, what would you like to talk about? What would you like to talk about? I can talk on for days, but I don't want to be angry. I don't be worked up. Ask me questions, y'all. I'm here for all the questions. I'm here for all the questions, and I'm here for all the comments. Well, what's funny then? Uh, so a prosecutor and a felon walk into the same office. A prosecutor and a felon want the same job. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? That tells you that betting on yourself is the only way to go forward. That tells you that the only opportunities the only opportunities are the ones that you take advantage of. The only success that you have are the challenges that you face. Because you can be on opposite sides of the law and want the same position. I find that interesting. People make judgments. Are you for gun rights? Absolutely. 100%. 100% for gun rights. 100%. But I'm not, I have a little different policy on firearms. My attitude is this. My stance is this. If the police can have it, then I, as a citizen, should also be able to have it. Why? Because police officers are citizens as well. And particularly, police officers are civilians as well. If you are not military, you are a civilian. But police officers like to treat us who are not sworn officers as we're civilians, not recognizing that they're civilians as well because they're not military. So if we say that that assault rifles and automatic machine guns and all that stuff should only be had by the military, then police officers shouldn't be able to have access to it either. But if we're going to say that it's okay for police officers to have it and not regular everyday civilians to have it, then that's a problem. Do I know how to dance? Actually, I do know how to dance. I do know how to dance. I'm actually a classically trained dancer. Um, Ballet, tap, and jazz. Classically trained dancer. And I did my little crumping and crunk and all that. I did all that. Um, but yes, I do know how to dance. Do I know how to fight? I would think so. I know how to fight. I don't enjoy fighting. I don't enjoy fighting, and that's something that I'm getting more comfortable with. I do enjoy a good squabble every now and then. I enjoy a good fair squabble. I like that. I don't like fighting over BS. I don't like that. I think that's stupid. The quickest way to make me angry is to have to fight over something stupid. I think I'm more dangerous when I have to fight over something I believe is stupid than when it is um, a nice little good squabble. Would you rather have a 9 to 5 or be an entrepreneur? That is a very interesting question. I would much rather be an entrepreneur. I would much rather be an entrepreneur. What is holding me back from being an entrepreneur? I'm working some things out within myself right now. That's really what it is. I'm working some things out within myself, and I'm making some wise decisions so that I can make sure that I go 100% into entrepreneurship. Um, Ames Shapiro, you're asking some great questions. What are you passionate about? Oh man, I'm passionate about my watches. I'm passionate about my watches. I'm passionate about my watches. Um, I love building these things. I love building these things. I need to actually build this one. The only thing that I'm missing are the hands. So I guess I could build my dad's. But what do I need? Okay, I got a movement. Let me help you guys understand all of what I do. Yep, I do. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Because I made watch for my wife. I got to fix hers. Hey, Jason, Will. Say, hey, Jason, Will, give me tissue. What? What? The dog has it? Yes. Peep this. This is the girl watch. My watch's wife I'm getting ready to fix, but this one is one that I made for my little cousin as a graduation present, so I have to send this to her. But yeah, let's see if it allow me to focus. Yeah, so let give you an idea of the. Let's see. Let's do it like this. That's the size difference. Yeah, that's the size difference, so that you understand. This is a 36, and I think this is like a 26. But yeah, trying to get it to focus, but it's not focusing. But yeah, it's a women's watch. So yeah, I make those. What am I working on within myself? What am I working on within myself? Um, Working through anxiety, working through um yeah, working through anxiety. Um Learning how to tap into my genius and not being addicted to stress. Procrastination is a stress response. Learn that is an addiction to stress. Something interesting that I learned. But yeah, so I'll talk a little bit more about my watches though, just so you guys can see. Like, you see this? You see that? That's not a battery. That's a rotor because this is an automatic movement. I built these. I built these. So it starts off like this. My watches start off like this. A movement. Call this a movement. They start off like this. And then I add a dial on it that looks like this. And then I put hands on it. I put those dial hands that you saw there. I put hands on it. And then after I put hands on it, let me get this closed. After I put hands on it, I put it inside of a case, and then you have a watch. So it's one of the things I'm passionate about. It's a great question. Political watches? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can customize them. I thought about for my next campaign of giving watches as a for some of my largest campaign donors. So, yeah. Great questions, Aim Shapiro. I appreciate it. What other questions? I hope everybody had a great Friday today. My Fridays seem to be extremely busy. Extremely busy. But yeah. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for everybody for joining, and thank you everybody for the likes. Yeah. Um but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to make a background and put all that stuff. It's all this going live on TikTok and everything. It's been good. It's been good. And I'm always thankful when I have people like you, Aim Shapiro, and a few others who been showing up to my lives. So let me shout everybody out. Courtney, thank you. Iris, Vito Brox, Wayne Holmes, Thomas Atkins, Patsy, Ingrid, David, Byron, Valerie, Infinite Love, Mike Poe, Al, Puppy Love, Terry Al. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. But yeah, what other questions that y'all got? What other questions that y'all got? But yeah, I hope everybody has a great day today. I've been on here for about 45 minutes, so yeah, y'all take care. And if you're interested in my Project 2025 breakdown and analysis, make sure to send me a DM. Make sure to send me a message. And we're going to be on at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to y'all later. Good night.